Hello, it's Mo and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. It's really good to see you again. You could have been anywhere watching anything, but you decided to watch me talk about a bunch of phenomenal books, so you're amazing for that. Let's get started. I've been on a mission to find a bunch of POC books, specifically POC women books. If you can see my bookshelf above me, you will see a lot of specifically Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I have a bunch of other books, but let's just be honest, a lot of books these days and all the days were written by and for and about white people. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but I am not white. Not to say I can't relate to the white experience or relate to white stories or anything, but it's just really nice to see other people's stories unfold in your brain and on TV. I've been on a mission to look for more books that actually include people who look like me, people who don't look like me, but people who aren't white. And there's something wrong with that, but let's be honest, you guys dominate everything, and it's really nice to see other people on the stage. So I have accumulated a cute little list of books that are not only POC, but women, we love women, that I have been reading and would like to share with you. So here we go. Before I get started, I realized that there is a book on my shelf that I forgot to add into the pile that's sitting next to me. So you're gonna watch me struggle to get it. Fingers crossed I don't fall and hurt myself. Ooh. And we're back. I chose 3 POC women, just Asian women, Latina women, and Black women. Not to be like, oh, those are the only women, but just because this is the beginning of what will eventually, hopefully, maybe become a series of mine, just reading a bunch of POC stories, women, men, non-binary folks. That's the goal, is to just find more POC stories in general, but I'm a woman, and I'm not gonna lie, I would prefer to listen to women's stories than male stories, but not to say that I won't. That's to say that I prefer it. These stories range from simple romance stories to something that's a little deeper, maybe a little trauma-y, but not too triggering, but also kind of triggering. Without further ado, I think I'm gonna just go in order of how I read them. My other lights just came on, so if the lighting looks a little weird, it's because I have like 10 lights on in my room. I look really, in the viewfinder, really bright. I'm not doing anything about it. The first book that I read was The Sweetest Remedy. This book is about a biracial woman. Her mother is white, her father's Nigerian, and they met while he was in the States and had a kid. It was like a one-night stand because he is married with a whole other family back home in Nigeria. He is a millionaire who does millionaire things, don't really know what they do, business, blah, 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 blah. Capitalism, yay! Anyway, so basically he dies and she has to make the decision on whether she's gonna go to Nigeria to go to his funeral and meet her other family. And then of course, because we need a story, she decides to, and she finds not only family but love. It is the cutest. I like this book because it feels like people of color with generational wealth just living their life, no trauma needed, because not everything with people of color needs to be sad and traumatic, and I love it. So it's basically like Crazy Rich Asians meets Ancestry.com. The next book I read needs no introduction, mainly because I don't have one written down, therefore I don't know what to say. So, next book I read was Finding Your Voice. This book was a little sad. It's not even that long. It's a little sad. This book is about a high school senior who is Korean American, who is, I'm not gonna lie, the stereotypical Asian American who studies all the time, works really hard, tries to make her family proud, but this gives you a better insight of the actual person behind the stereotype. Her sister made it into Harvard, who was super smart. Her sister is more mathematical smart, and she is more literature smart. But she also wants to live her life. She wants a boyfriend. She wants to hang out with her friends. She wants to have the opportunity to go to any school, not just the one school her father wants her to go to. But then it gives you insight as to why her parents are the way they are. It's a little triggering. She is from a predominantly white area, and I'm guessing she's the only Asian in the area, and they make fun of her constantly. This book takes place in the, I believe, 90s, so it's a lot different than it is now, but it is ruthless. They just throw slurs around left and right. I don't know what I would do, but she powers through it. She graduates top of her class, and she gets into the college she wants to go to. The next book that I've read, to be on a more lighter note, was something from a man that I will always hold dear to my heart. I love this man. He wrote one of my favorite trilogies ever, Kevin Kwan's Sex and Vanity. God. This book, not as good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. Not as good as Crazy Rich Asians. Nowhere near as good as Crazy Rich Asians. But the touch, the feel of Crazy Rich Asians is in this. So if you like Crazy Rich Asians, you're going to love Sex and Vanity. You're going to love Sex and Vanity. It's about this one girl. She's half white, half Chinese. What's her name? Lucy Churchill. I don't know if she's related to Windsor Churchill. They never really explained it, but she does have like really good roots, and she's from New York, and she knows very little about her Chinese culture, and she has a brother. All these things aren't that important. What's important is she goes to Capri, Italy, which, gotta say, that's on my bucket list of things to do. She goes to Capri, Italy to go to a friend's wedding, and while there, she meets the handsome, the gorgeous, the dreamy, the amazing George Zhao, who is a Chinese millionaire boy, guy, whatever. And basically, it's like love at first sight, but for many reasons, they can't be together. It's a lot like Romeo and Juliet, kind of, but not really. And then they fast forward 5 years, she's about to marry this other guy, and he's not the best, but we're supposed to root for her happiness. And then, out of nowhere, because she lives in New York, she finds George Zhao, and it's just like, what are you doing here? And the sparks never left. And the author is fully Asian. He's not half and half. So I don't know if he really captures the exact feeling of being a half Asian, half white person who is forced to live with their predominantly white family. I don't think he really handles that too well, but and if that's very important to you, then obviously don't read it. But I feel like he does touch on not knowing your roots, not understanding your Asian heritage or your person of color heritage the way other people around you do. And as someone who is African American and who doesn't understand any of her African roots or know where she's from, I can really relate to that. Next book on our list is a book that I'm actually currently reading. I have not finished this book, but I've been reading it for about 2 or 3 days, and I'm already almost done. This book is called Olga Dies Dreaming. This is the first Latina book on my list. I have another one, but I didn't read it, and I probably won't put it on this video. But this is the first one that I ordered, and it came out like literally last month. I was like, I'm going to read this book. It looked good. I just get things off the cover, if I'm going to be completely honest. I was like, ooh, I need a book with like Latina. I need to mix more into my variety. And I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all. So the main character, Olga, she is Puerto Rican. I like the fact that she is not between the ages of 16 and 30, because a lot of books only talk about the younger side of life as opposed to the middle-aged and older side of life. Which, if I'm being completely honest, once you start reading this, you're going to forget she's 40, because she sounds just like she's like 20, 30 years old, except she has money. Olga is a wedding planner for the elite in New York, where she lives, is from, yada yada yada. She's from Brooklyn. It's really hard to explain because it's a lot going on, and it's a really intense book, but I completely believe everyone should read it. But I think everyone should read everything I read because I have good taste. Anyway, the book is about Olga and her abandonment issues because her mom left her to go be a like Black Panthers, except Puerto Rican. She's one of those. and she goes to go help people. She's really educated, really smart. She's very intense, but she leaves her family to go help, I believe, Puerto Rico. Like, she goes to Puerto Rico. You don't really know because she travels a lot. She leaves her daughter Olga and her son Pietro with their grandmother, which is her mom, and her father was a drug addict and died. So that is a background of what is going on in the book. That's not necessarily what is happening actively in the book. The book takes place in 2017 during the hurricane that went, Maria, I believe, that went through Puerto Rico and just messed everything up. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's funny. It's relatable. It's vulnerable. It touches on topics such as grief and LGBT rights and black and brown people. I don't want to give too much away because this is out of all the books, this is one of the ones that I really want everyone to take the time to read. But it's just so good. I obviously haven't finished it, but I can just tell that I had to take a break because it was really intense. It's so human. She is a human. You really get to see how flawed of a character she is, of a person she is. She's not perfect, and she is a person. Something that I didn't like about The Sweetest Remedy is I just felt as though the main character wasn't a person, you know, wasn't her own thing. She was more of a blank piece of paper that you were supposed to project yourself onto. This is an actual person. You can't really project her. You can relate to her, but you can't project yourself onto her. Out of all these books so far, this is the one I really recommend. It is intense. It is actually impactful, and when you read it, you're going to really understand. Just wow. So, the last book I sadly have not started yet. I don't like reading too many books at the same time, but it is In Every Mirror She Is Black. I wish I could really get into detail of what it's about, but I really can't. I haven't read it yet. I bought this book because of the cover with all the different black people on it, and because it was about a black woman. Turns out it's about 3 black women. I guess it is an anthology. The different anthologies on the 3 black women that work at this one company and trying to educate white people on why they are the way they are. So yeah, that is the end of my book haul. We got a good 5 books. My goal for this was to find not only women of color books, but was to finish this before I went back to school. I started in mid-December and I go back to school next week, so I did a pretty good job. I'm in the process of finishing the 4th book, and I will finish that probably today and start the 5th book tonight, and then I'll probably finish that right before school starts this coming Thursday. So yikes, I'm not even ready for school. I need to get ready for school. I have so much things I need to do. So that'll probably be the next video of me getting ready for my second semester of college. Yikes, kind of like, wow. Second semester of college. Ooh. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or book recommendations for me, or want me to give you some, I would be happy to. If you want to give me some, I love people of color, especially women. I love romance books. I don't care how smutty they are, you know. I don't know if I love mysteries, but I love fantasy and Greek mythology, if you can't see from the Percy Jackson and the Harry Potter. I love all types of books, so if you have any recommendations, please put them in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. So, whoop.